Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
TG to the I to the F. Happy Friday. Hey, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. I am just so excited to be here today. Just a great week, just a great month, just a great everything. Why? Because when we get in here, you know what? I say it every day, and I mean it every day. Why? Because when you say and do things that you mean, those things now have an opportunity to become meaningful to the rest of the world. And when we get in here and we share our conversations, illuminated conversations, we fulfill one of the greatest promises available. And that is where two or more people of the same spirit, the same like-mindedness comes together, something wonderful has got to happen. And today is no exception. So let's get an amen up there. Let's put some hearts on the screen. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world today, but you're here, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. So here we are. Welcome, as I said, to today's installment of the show. Great guest today for you. He's been here several times over the past, this is my 6th year. So I've probably been here about 20 times, especially when we're gearing up for the Power of We Symposium. I'm speaking of Timothy R. Johnson. He's always got something new to share with us. I love all of his work. He's just a guy of so many different talents. And we have him in today. Before we get Tim in here, I wanted to show you guys something. Now, in the comments, you'll see at the very top today, there is a long link for it says male model something competition thing. So anyway, you guys know, because I've been so happy about it. Heart of Hollywood magazine, this beautiful magazine, publisher Giovanna Salas, also the founder of Heart of Hollywood Motion Pictures, just so sweet. I've been friends with her for about 3 years now, and she gifted Bathrobe Moments the back cover of her magazine, which retails at $22 per issue, for the next 2 years. Right. And I'm just so excited because I get to leave a little message down here that changes every month. And so she's got this competition going. Right. And the reason I'm doing it is because it's donations. We each get a vote, but it's donations for Heart of Hollywood to do some of the philanthropic work that they do. And so for every vote that I get, it's $1 to go help some of the things, some of the great charities that they support. But here's the deal. For anyone that has a business, this is a great opportunity, because if you own a business or you want to run a half-page ad in this beautiful magazine, now look, let me tell you what kind of company you're with. You open it up, the first advertisement that you see right here, can you see it? This is like looking in a mirror, it's backwards for me. And it's all glossy. That's how glossy. Tesla. Can you see Tesla? I can't see. Wait, where is it on here? I can barely see it. Provider of, oh, there it is. It says Tesla down there. There it is. And you're in here. So here's the deal. If you would like a Tim, where'd you go? You need to be seeing this. So look at this, you guys. Beautiful magazine, Heart of Hollywood. I'm going to do this again when Tim sits his butt back in the chair. I can see he got up. So anyway, if you would like a half-page ad in here, which ordinarily would cost a few $1,000s, because of what they're doing here, if you donate $300 through the link that I put in there, you can have a half-page ad in this magazine. So anyone you know that is anxious to get their voice out there, their brand out there, their message out there, Heart of Hollywood magazine is a great place to do that. And this is a great opportunity. So a $300 opportunity. I don't know where else you can get it, seriously. So, and Tim, here comes Tim. So we're going to talk about that when he gets back in here. So anyway, listen, Tim Johnson, Timothy R. Johnson, good friend of mine. I'm going to get him in here because I'm going to get him to keep his ass in his chair. He keeps getting up, making me nervous. So here he comes, you guys. Put your hearts on the screen, and let's put our hearts into the conversation today as we bring to the stage my good friend, Timothy R. Johnson. Here we go. Tim, who is Iris?
Who's Iris?
There's somebody down in the green room says device not connected.
Oh.
I didn't send the link to anybody but you. Who's Iris?
Oh, I must have shared it thinking that was the link to get on here.
Well, Iris thought she was coming in. Iris, girl.
No.
I wish she would have been on there. That her device was connected. I'd pop her in here just for shits and giggles. So I'm excited. Thank you for coming. I know you're a busy guy. Oh, you guys help me welcome Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo to the show. She's under contract. She don't like when I overlook her. Sorry, Lou.
There you go.
And also the Bell of Purpose. Tim, did you hear what I was saying about Heart of Hollywood magazine?
Yeah, I did.
That if a person, I want you to tell your people, because this is because all the donations that go for the cover model contest go to I think they have 6 different nonprofits that they support. A lot of them are in other countries, and I know you relate to that because Giovanna's from Mexico. And so for a hat, Tesla's the first ad when you come in. It's not an online magazine. It's a real hard copy, glossy, beautifully done. And you get an entire half page for a $300 donation, and you get an in-kind receipt to take it off your taxes. And I get 300 votes. But I'm going to tell y'all, want me to tell you what I'm trying to do?
How many ads can I run that?
Huh?
How many ads can I run that?
As many as you want. and I'm going to tell you, it's a great thing. And here's what I love about it. I'm trying to make some history, y'all, because, when I don't do this stuff just, look at me on the cover. The reason this was important to me to get on here, because I'm the first LGBT person on that cover, and I'm the first African-American man on that cover. So now that trail has been blazed for other people to do the same thing. And what I'm trying to do is, since Bathrobe Moments is on the back for the next 2 years, I'm trying to get simultaneously on the front. So that'd be the first person that's on the front and the back. Just because then those are the kind of things that people go, ooh, they make a big deal out of it. But once you get them listening,
Right.
then you can tell them what you're really here to talk about. And that is things like the Power of We Symposium. You notice right back here on the cover, it's not about me, it's about we. So there's Power of We right there. I put it on right after I put my drawers on.
What?
Every day. Oh, wait, some days I forget to put those on. So anyway, but I take Power of We and all the things that I'm passionate about with me every day, just like you, Tim. Tim, say hello to all the viewers out there. Tell them where you're at in the world and give us a little Reader's Digest version of who Tim Johnson is.
Well, I'm in South Bend, Indiana.
Notre Dame. Oops.
Notre Dame, baby. Notre Dame. We're going to break New Rockies record in the next few months, right?
Yeah, whatever. Go Michigan. Sorry.
No, just working on my compound all the time. Hitting a secret knock next week, which is millionaires and billionaires from all over the world. So I get
Greg Reed,
right?
You're going to secret knock?
Yeah.
You ever been?
No. So I've known Leo, friends of mine, for many, many years. They've invited me. Just always had conflicts with other events. Just working out. Like I said, talked to my partners last night. We are, for now, going to be lifetime members of the lunch sponsorship for the kids.
Yes, I can ring the bell. Yeah, Tim, I told you when you said that this morning, it gave me chills. Tim is always, his group, his team, they've always donated every penny to feed the kids at the Power of We Symposium, and that's 250 miles. And kids love to eat, and we give them breakfast when they get there, so they get breakfast and lunch. And little snacks in between. We had the candy baskets and the popcorn bags and all that kind of stuff.
I might have got into them a few times.
What's that?
I might have got into them a few times.
Okay, me too. And what I love about it is, there's always so much there for them. I've seen kids actually dump the books out of their swag bags, and I had to go and get another empty swag bag, give them, because they were putting some food in their bags to take home. And I don't ask, well, what are you doing? Put that back. You already, you don't know. Some of them have little brothers and sisters at home, or it may be their next meal.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get it, because Tim, you and I have both been there, right?
Yep.
Right.
I lived in a car for the first 6 years of my life. What do you think life was like that? I mean,
exactly.
I had a car, and like across the country, right? Like I was born in Atlanta, my sister was born in Seattle, and my little sister was born in Chicago. So think about the amount of travel for 6 years that we lived in a car.
And I've heard some stories. You'd be shocked how many people lived in cars. I slept in one night when I was homeless. Oh my goodness, I'll never forget that. And some water was I was in the back seat of this abandoned car, and there was a pool of water on the floor back there, and it got so cold. When I woke up, my hand had frozen in the water. The water was freezing around my hand. Yes, that was it. I got out of that car, and I remember I walked to a church, and they gave me some help. I'll never forget that. So, Tim, you do some things with. Well, you know what? I can show y'all better than I can tell you. I meant to start with this, but I wanted to get him in here. So, Tim, are you serious? You want to run an ad in the magazine?
Yeah, we'll run something.
You will?
Yeah, I'll run something on Happily Unemployable.
Okay, awesome. Y'all heard him. And so, I'll tell you, sit in the green room afterwards. I'll tell you what you got to do. So you guys sit back, get yourself some Orville Rettenbacher or something to drink on or chew on, munch on. I'm going to show you a little 3-minute thing, which really speaks to the heart of our guest today, Timothy Johnson. So I'm going to head over to his website so that we can see this, you guys. Here we go. Tim made the news.
What a few times.
I think I've been on this before. No.
I don't need to be introduced. I need to be.
As a business owner, you're always focused on being innovative, but the process can be difficult.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at how easy it is to find the best professional for your company when you know what questions to ask.
What did we ask?
We caught up with a local business innovation expert to give you some great insight on finding the right professional.
Oh, look who's on the cover.
Tim Johnson is a quintessential American success story.
I make money almost everywhere I go because I choose to. Learning is earning. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Tim had a very rough upbringing and even rougher childhood.
How many of you have ever felt like you were less than something? You just wanted to accomplish something.
You can do or be whatever you want.
Things that have happened to him, hunger, poverty, all of those things. But today, through some good circumstances.
Oh my God, I just get chills, Tim.
I don't decide to let status quo tell me what I'm going to be and who I'm going to be. I don't care if you learn on the streets. I don't care if you learn how to do business, but be the best at whatever it is you do.
Amen.
Spoke. People were like, this breakout sessions were the biggest room for Tim Johnson because number one thing, he's not there to speak. He's there to be authentic Tim.
If you want to accomplish something, you find someone that's the most badass at it, and you figure out a way, I don't care what it is. You don't take no for an answer. You figure out how do you assist that person in accomplishing something that they'll teach you.
His greatest love is children. And when I told him about
She's so cute.
He didn't care about speaking opportunities. He didn't care about this meeting. All he cared about is going to my village and helping the children. He brought a couple of extra suitcases that are completely stuffed with gifts and toys and books and pencils and pens and to give to those kids.
Do you know how many people's lives you can change when you make more money?
As an orphan kid myself, one of the cool things that I like to do is I like to take my own money and my friends' money and really change the lives of kids. Because if you really do change the life of one kid, how many lives in the world will you change by your own?
Oh my God, I just can't do it. Wow. Tim.
But Lauren, people were there for us, though. Think about that. There was influential people along our paths that did, right? Because of the history and what we went through, you and I are about changing life. You had 22 moms. My dad was a serial killer. Come to find out, he didn't kill 9, he killed 43. So
right. We're going to get into that.
I was raped. I was beaten. Sister committed suicide. One of my best friends shot his dad in the face. But in perspective, how many kids in Africa or in Philippines or in Vietnam or Mexico would trade that life just to live in America, right? So if you live in the 90th percentile of the world, think about that. It's still an A in any category. I don't care if you live the worst life you can live in the United States, right? Think about it. We had, even though we went through some rough times, we still had influential people to this day.
Yeah.
That gave us a different perspective, which is why we came together for the power of we. Because how many kids in there, like how many of those kids, when they really do get the message of the power of we, when we were kids, we had our gang, right? We had those people that kept us safe on the streets. But when we get into business, we forget that, right? We forget that you're a part of my gang, brother. Jason Cisneros is part of my gang, right? That's the part where he does certain, and you're doing your message. I'm doing my message. But when we come together as the power of we, how many lives we're living that legacy through the next generation of kids? Because they're being seen, they're being heard, they're the misfits, they're the outcasts. The teachers all say they're like this. No, they don't want to go to school for 9 months. Give me the test and let me figure it out, because they learn more from the streets than they'll ever learn in a classroom.
Yeah.
And what you created, brother, and I love you for it, is a space where these kids, like the last Power of We, I had 4 or 5 kids come, hey, my dad's in prison. I said, I understand he is. But what does that have to do with you, bro, man? What really, what can you achieve, right? In school, they call you a copycat if you copy off somebody. In business, reality, right? In the real world, if you copy off successful people, you become successful. So you have one of 2 paths to go down. Go down the stupid path, right? And that's why I got a sign on my door that says you can't fix stupid. Or hang around a different type of person that's going to drive you. It's not about being nice. It's about getting you to those habits that are going to serve the next generation of kids that can be the next Lauren, that can be the next Jason Cisneros, can be the next whoever they want to be to achieve something. Because we went through the stuff we did. It wasn't a curse of what we went through.
Right.
It's who we are today and why we're so compassionate for these kids. You know, and that's why I talked to my partners last night, very compassionate. I'm like, guys, I think we need to commit for a lifetime until we're done. However big this thing gets, money can always be made. Right. And I remember one time you beat my ass, dude. Like you came at me like you came up with the dukes. You like, come on, motherfucker. Sorry. I know I can't cut. But you came like, dude, how many kids, damn it, are not going to be at this spot? Like, you were mad. And I love you for it because I didn't. And again, this is my programming. I was taught by my foster dad, greatest man I've ever met in my life. We just went fishing. And to give him for his 74th birthday, he told me one of the things that, dude, I wish I had more time. But God gave me, I had one of the most horrific dads to one of the best foster dads you could ever have.
Right.
Look at it like that, right? But what was interesting, my dad, don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing, but you challenge me. You're like, dude, listen, stupid. Like, I know you have rich friends, and I do. And I literally just did. Remember, I didn't even make phone calls hardly. I just left it on Facebook. Dude, I love this thing. This is what I want to do. And it wasn't hundreds that came in. It was thousands that came in. Right? Remember that? And you're like, dude, listen, stupid, I'm pissed. And you were pissed. And you had a right to be. Right? You weren't doing it out of hatred. You weren't doing it about being mean. You're like, dude, this is about the kids, and I don't give a shit. Okay? I need them there. Like, if you're not going to step up and do it, I understand you have money, but how many of your friends have money? And when I did, my friends stepped up, and they were there.
Yeah, literally in person.
In person from Washington. And even my partner Kirby, he's like, dude, I'm going to do this for a lifetime. Like, this is what people did for me when I was a kid. There was these certain people that went out of the way that we don't even know. Like, how many people that we don't even know, like during our path, like for Christmas or food or the food pantry that we don't even know about, right? That God had put in place to serve us in that life. Like, who am I to argue with God on not being a lifetime sponsor for these kids, whether it gets 1,000, 5,000, 50,000 at an arena for these kids?
Oh, from your mouth to God's ears. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Right.
But, I want to tell you something, and this is important, everybody. So, lean in on this when I just rang the bell. The people like you and Jason and all the others, Kirby, and just so many, and you and Jason are very similar, that when you put it out there, you don't have to explain it to your tribes. They just get it because you're like-minded. The law of attraction has brought you together for these reasons and more. But I remember, I'm not sure how they found out, but the first year, like 2 weeks after I put it on social media that I was going to do this, Power 103, the #1 urban station here in Chicago, called me and said, hey, we have a sponsor here at the station who is interested in completely sponsoring every penny of this. Looks like the exact thing that they're looking for. So we went into all these meetings and stuff. And then it came to the point, I was like, so how many people will you actually physically have at the event for the kids to ask questions and hear stories from and to be poured into by? And they said, oh no, we just want to pay for everything. We're, the t-shirts and this and the other. We want to put Frisbees and water bottles and bracelets and stuff in the swag bags. I said, so not even one person? And he was like, no. I said, not even somebody from the mailroom? He's like, no. So I said, no, we can't do it.
Well, no, you have standards, brother. Hold on. You have standards. People don't like our standards. Remember, a lot of people, when you come in, don't like our standards. They don't like how we are. We're like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, listen, if it's not about the kids, you can't be in this room. If this is about you sponsoring your shit, get out of here. You got to go.
Right.
And that's what you challenged me on, brother. Listen, I remember Rachel was on the phone. Remember? She's like, oh my God, you're talking to Tim Howell? I'm like, no, but I didn't take it that way. Because the minute you hit my heartstrings, right? You went straight for the jugular. You were not being nice that day. But I understand why you were being that way, right? Where, you remember, Rachel was pissed. You remember that? That was, you're like, oh my, no. But it was really, that was the focus. But I had been so programmed in not, like, just doing my own personal, like, now, even because of you, I don't know if you see behind it, that's the second well that 3 of my partners, right? None of us do business, but we meet on a philanthropy standpoint. The head of Group Card, another buddy of mine, runs a multi-million-dollar coaching program for business consultants. The 3 of us a year want to build a school, and we built our second well in Africa just because. But it was funny. The minute I started sharing with my friends and connecting them to the church, we might actually build 5 this year. Like just that, just things opening up, because instead of like, don't let, I got to hide it. Oh my God, let me put it down my shirt. Like, no one knows. But, and I even shared this with my dad on my fish. I'm, Dad, it's interesting. And I talked to him about it. Right. And I said, it's interesting, Pop. When I shared the story of why I wanted to do this, it was funny how many of my cool friends were like, hey, I got 500. I got 2. But I didn't make anything. It didn't matter what the amount was. It's whatever they felt on their heart to give. But I was actually not letting them do that because they want to be so part of my world and be around me and the things that I love to do, that I was actually doing them a disservice.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the love they have for me and my family and what I do for the world, they just want to be a part of it. And it was interesting that you actually kicked me right. I mean, you dead square nut me like you were kicking a football at the other end of the end zone. But it's what I needed at the time, right?
Well, you know what? Let me just interject there, because what's interesting about that is whenever I'm doing something with the power of we, the kid in me that was one of those kids,
right,
is the one who stands up.
Right.
It's not the adult me, it's the kid me that kicked you.
Right.
Because I couldn't when I was a kid. I just had to take it over and over and over. And then I also kick for the kids who didn't make it out of the system alive.
Right.
They don't have a voice anymore. And so I speak for them as well. So, when I found that Sprite, their only intention was to get their new soft drink into the hands of, they told me, we're not concerned, we're not even interested in what's happening there that day, outside of getting this new soft drink into the hands of the urban teen. They said it right like that. And I said, well, I suggest you find somebody else or go out there and hand them out, because we're not doing it. And when I left, that radio station, it was a long drive home from Chicago out here to the suburbs in silence, because I was like, did I just shoot myself in the foot?
Yep.
But you know what? That was just like with the state of Ohio, when they had hired me to come speak. And then they wanted to put a gag order at the last minute on, the governor's going to be there, so don't mention anything about the trash bag issue in the system. And tickets were already issued. Everything was done. And I just said, nope, you got the wrong guy. This was Friday. Their event was Monday. But you know what? As soon as I said no to that, the very next day, Canada, the government of Canada called and booked me. And they booked me for the very reasons that Ohio said no.
Right. No, but Lauren, you have standards, dude. People don't like standards. Like, thanks, but no thanks, bro. I don't need that shit. Listen, if this, you want me to discount what I'm about to do, no. Like, discount yourself. That's cool. But you're not going to discount these kids. You're not going to discount me. You're not going to discount. Like, that's what the world does. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that.
You know what? I don't know if you know this, because I put it up after Atlanta, because let me show you. Do you remember the original Chicago Power Week, Tim?
You remember I couldn't be there, brother. Remember I sent Rachel in my place.
That's right. Rachel came and okay. Well,
right. You had a conflict of, now I don't. I make sure now that all my schedule's clear for that.
Okay. Well, what had happened was, the first town that I went to was, I went to the ones that I kept seeing on the news.
Right.
Oh wait, I pulled up the wrong. I went into my own website. I need Power Week. And when I had all these meetings, and then they lost their bus contract at the last minute, didn't have a way to get their kids. I think it was 60 kids from there to the event. So Jason went online and put a plea out there, and we raised the money to bring them in luxury buses.
Yep.
And then, so they needed a certain amount of, for liability purposes, not just for me, but for the mansion they needed chaperones. And the kids were out front, in front of the barbershop, which was the meeting place. They had their signed permission slips and whatnot, and no adults to bring them. So those kids didn't get to come, and we had to pull those chairs off the floor and put them back into the caterers area. And every time I went back there, I couldn't stop looking at those. Right. I was like, why do I keep looking at those chairs? Because I kept wondering, where are those kids if they're not here? Are they running the streets or what's going on? So anyway,
And welcome to the Power
Can you guys say
of
that?
We Symposium.
Oh no, you can't yet.
I am
Hold on.
encouraged
I gotta get back over
and
here.
grateful
Okay.
that you're
Hold
here
on.
today.
So I want to show you guys a little bit about Power We, and then I'm going to show you why we work so hard to get every kid in a seat. To get every kid in a seat. I mean that. Huh?
We're relentless.
Wait, what'd you say?
We are relentless.
We are. You,
but it's a team thing. It's me, you, Jason. Like we're like there is no. It is a requirement.
It really is.
That's just how we hold each other accountable. And if people don't like it, fuck them.
I apologized to somebody the other day because I had to go off about, no, that's not what we do in the Power We, blah, 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 blah. Don't you? It's in the name. Come on, dude. And then he came back in an email and said, Lauren, I get it. I love it. I said, I hope I wasn't mean or came off as angry black man. He goes, no, but you are ferociously passionate. No, and I said, I like that, you know? Hey. I like that. Right. So here's why, you guys pay attention. So here's a little peek inside of what happens at the Power We, and then I'm going to show you something about that first year.
And welcome to the Power of We Symposium. I am encouraged and grateful that you're here today because you could have been anywhere else. You could have been absent today, but you are right here.
Packing the swag bags the night before. You did that in Atlanta with us.
Oh, I will miss another one.
I just.
Who's able to see who he truly is? A well-dressed, groomed young man that's going to be the next doctor, the next president, the next lawyer. We don't know. But see, this is the thing. It took me starting with one idea, one dream. And then from there, it kept building up. So when we was building that community.
He's coming back for this one too. What is important, what matters the most is that we met. Because now we're friends. You are amongst friends. You are amongst people who are here to celebrate you, to celebrate what you stand for, what you stood for yesterday, and what you will stand for tomorrow. Because we believe in everything that's in front of us, because that's all that matters. Don't let your past define you. Let it refine you.
We have a choice. There's a lot of thought that went into this thing for y'all to be here. And there's those moments in life when you're handed a choice and an opportunity. I want you to think about that for just a second.
We are all here on this planet at this time to choose for ourselves.
I love that line.
The change starts with us.
Okay.
And we have to believe that we can make that difference.
The power of we
Let me go back over
is to show not just you, but to show the world that together we are all the same. We are unstoppable when we work together.
So, okay. So you get a little peek there. Now, let me, you guys know I am not techie. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go over and show you guys why it's so important for us to be impeccable with our word. Exactly what the, hold on, I got to find, is that it? I think this, bear with, oh yeah. Here we go. Now how do I, okay, there it is. Okay, we'll pull this up.
Do our newsroom
I'm gonna pause it. Okay, now I'm probably, let me see. Oh, it's on there. Okay, I didn't know if you guys could see it still. Yeah. So those chairs that I told you, remember, were in the back, and I wondered where those kids were. Well, you're about to find out where two of them were and what happened. Let me just blow it up. It's buffering. Okay, here we go.
To our newsroom a few minutes ago, the 18-year-old girl who was shot last week during a drive-by outside of Calumet City Mall has died. Her name is Kristen Ross. She and a 17-year-old boy were shot in the Macy's parking lot at the River Oak Shopping Center on Thursday night. Calumet City police say they were targeted. So far, no one has been arrested in that case.
And never was. And they were not targeted. That's just what the news put out there. They did what kids do. We got a free day. You know, they were both seniors. And, you know, I learned a lot. I'll go to sleep to that. I'll wake up to that for the rest of my life. Okay. And so, right. And so, yeah, that was the thing that was drawing me in about, you know, that urgency,
right?
About you know, you guys, you know, even in Atlanta. No, that was in Chicago. It's 2 adjacent people were in charge of handing each kid a swag bag. And I was upstairs at the tech table. I looked over, I saw 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids with no swag bag. I said, wait a minute. So I went down there, and the 2 girls that had flown together were in an Airbnb together. We're sitting on the stairs, standing on the stairs, taking selfies. I lost it.
I would too.
I lost it.
If you're coming to something, this ain't about you, right? This 12 hours from the night before, or 24 hours from that time, we're fucking relentless, right? Because that's when you are relentless with your brothers and your little sisters. You remember? Remember even at, and I don't even know if I should say this, but you remember, look at Rachel and how, I mean, from that night, dude, Lauren, just hanging around you and Brian to the different purpose she had the next day.
Yes.
And like huge, man. Like that was her jam. I couldn't be there. So I said, hey, I'll pay you to come in, like do your thing. And it's right there.
She made this entire thing while she was at the registration table. Right. She took pictures. She ran out to Walgreens, got them printed, bought a frame, bought the paper, bought the glue, put this together, and gave it to me that day.
And it was never forget that.
You see where it's at.
Right, exactly.
Never forget it. And I don't want to forget. And you guys, I'm telling you, we never know just how important the impact we make is. It's not about just, you know, saying we do these things. It's about giving these kids something to hold on to. So Tim, when we come back, we're going to take a 1-minute break. And when we come back, I'd like you to talk about a little bit about your backstory, if you could, and let's get into the book because it's just riveting, and I want everybody to know about it. You guys stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Share the broadcast out. There's a lot more great content coming your way right after this message. We'll be right back.
Except I received this insight about a title called Prisoner of War. The book.
Welcome back to the show, you guys. It's Friday here on Bathrobe Moments, and I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. Before we get back in it with our good friend and philanthropist, good guy all around, Timothy R. Johnson, really quickly, if you're looking for something to help make your day go from great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, try one of these. It's V8. It is 100% vegetable juice from concentrate, 60 calories per can, and also only 2 servings of vegetables. How many do you need? I don't know why I said only, but drink 2 cans if you need 4. But anyway, it's really great. I love it. I really do. Not just because they're a sponsor, but because they make me a better person. So ditch the sugar, top the top, and have yourself a V8. It's so easy to find. Head down the juice aisle in your nearest grocer and you'll find it. V8. Have yours today. Tim, you're back. So I wanted to ask you to talk. You have a new book now. Tell us about that.
Well, I've been wanting to, and again, a lot of the way that we grew up, Lauren, was the way that I still look at business, right? And so I was at ClickFunnels Live 2 years ago, and I met you actually know her. I met Laura Lynn Todd, right?
Yes.
Or I don't even think she likes the word Todd anymore, but I was thinking there, it was interesting because I had been wanting to write a book based on simple things. Like you and I don't make up shit when it comes to making money, right? It's like you either do or don't. A farmer doesn't go to this field and go, oh, it has COVID. Oh, my past. No, a farmer goes out and actually plants his field, right? They don't make up shit. And so this whole referral network is the 80-20 rule, right? It was like 80% of the time you work with 20% of people you afford. What do you do with the other 80%? Well, you sell them to your friends. You sell them to the right people because that's what they need. Well, I don't do it for free, right? So to me, it antiquated back when I was in high school. And like, if I didn't have a drug, one of my friends did, right? And then, it was just that simple philosophy of like, okay, dude, like all you have to do, like there's 3 investments in your life. There's time, money, and change. And people go, oh, well, it's time. No, time's not medical. If you want to make more money, you got to change your habits, right? The same money you're going to make at 100 grand, you got to change your habits if you want to make 200 grand, right? You can't do the same habits. And this whole philosophy of like common sense, it just isn't so common. Because 100 years ago, we didn't have ADD. Like kids don't have ADD if they can play video games for 8 straight hours. They just
okay.
So I started and I took on during COVID. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of this crap that you have to have money to change. I got tired of that shit.
Say that again.
I got tired of everybody saying, well, you have to have money to change your brand. You gotta have invest in yourself and you got to do this. So during COVID, I'm like, okay, when is the best time that I could build my brand, right? Because it was you and a couple of my other friends were like, how many kids are you not helping because you're not speaking anymore? And I'm like, ooh, like that was as bad as the kick about raising capital. Like you cannot use the same shit on me that I use to the world. Like that is not cool, right? But it was like that thing. So during that time, I met Lori and I wanted to write what I call my legacy. I wanted to take all the things that I learned from the streets that kids could actually apply, like simple shit, and actually go make money. Okay. And when I read Happily Unemployable, all these kids that are misfits, the outcast, people that don't feel like they fit it, well, they're listening to their parents that have a job. Okay, well, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can't exactly take advice from your parents if they had a job for 40 years. Okay. And like there's a book called
a traditional 9 to 5.
You're not going to fit. And they wonder why they fight with them.
Different mindset,
different approach. They're the outcast. They feel like they're outcasts. They're not outcasts. They just think differently. But they have no pathway to do anything with it.
Let me jump in right there. Don't lose that train of thought. But you're right, because that you guys heard me talking about, you saw it on my page, Sebastian, the little 12-year-old who actually presented his book, his very first book, to Publishers Row yesterday. So I was helping, his mom hired me to get him ready for that. And he, just right before COVID was being bullied at a school, acting out, running and hiding in the woods. And the school said, we don't want him here. He's different. He's strange. And I told, he's a creative.
Right.
So as soon as they took him out of that toxic environment, which when I say toxic, because when a child's imagination is the superpower, it saved me. It saved me when I didn't know how to save myself. And so, when they took him out, his mom immediately enrolled him in an illustration course online and a writing course. And he took it upon himself after he finished his book to write Marvel comics to one of his favorite illustrators and ask him to do the foreword to his book. And guess what? The guy did it. The guy did it. Right.
Here's the thing. If you don't ask, you get 100% of nothing when you ask for 100% of something. You don't. You don't get anything. Right?
Got to ring the bell.
Yeah. It just does. Like there's a caveat to business, right? For example, if your buddy didn't have drugs when we were kids, he'd be like, well, I know someone that does. Like, what's the common sense, right? So one of the things with these kids, like, here's the thing, I'm not the creative. So I don't play in that realm. I don't work on things that I'm not good at. So I chose during COVID to take 6 people in trade, right? Some people wrote articles for me. Some people redid my website, which you've seen. And I turned their head trash, right? They're not broken. They believe this bullshit programming that they've been lied to.
Yeah.
And I'm an operator. I'm not creative. Give me the creation and I'll operate and make sure the shit gets done. I will do it done faster. I will get it done earlier, and I will have it done before you even wake up. But I don't have the creative. I don't. So guess what I don't work on? Because one of the things with these kids is it harder, they're not good at it. See, they're told it's hard. That's bullshit, right? It's not hard. They're not good at it. You don't wake up and be good at something. Like that lie has been lied to and programmed into since we were kids. It's not that it's hard, because when you say something's hard, you create the problem. If you say the problem is, the challenge is, the issue is, you create it before you even started what you're doing. Why create that for these kids? They're not good at it. That's a different mindset. You can become good at it, but doesn't make financial sense. Okay?
Do you think a lot of kids today, their dreams are somewhat restrained or quashed simply because they come from a family line or lineage of, we work in the steel mills, we always work at this factory?
Right, it is. We've been ingrained by society to believe you work 40 years of your life for 40% of your pay to live and go be a Walmart greeter. Fuck you.
Right.
No way. Like, I am not, like, listen, you and I,
a Walmart greeter,
we are fucking relentless about, here's the thing, if you hang around me, I am not nice. All right? If you're going to break your head, you come to me, you say, I want help. Don't act like I'm going to be a cheerleader for your bad habits, because it's not going to happen. I am not going to be that.
That's a good one.
And here's the thing. It is so simple, right? You either do it or don't. People don't try to have sex, but they try to be successful. I don't have dreams. I have obligations. I have obligations to my family. I have obligations to you, right? When you kicked me dead square, like you were kicking a field goal from here to that, and that's exactly what you said. You will always be reminded of looking at those chairs. And the last power of we, right? You couldn't. And I'm not saying that you couldn't have reached out more phone calls, but you were already 100% ingrained every single day up to the day of, even the stress that I heard in your voice. You did not have time, right? You were relying on Jason.
Well, that first year I was a hot mess.
Even the second one, I'm saying, you're like, dude, Timmy, I can't do it, bro. I need you, bro. Like, what are you doing? Get your head out your ass.
Yeah.
We need more money. I am not seeing these kids, damn it, for the next time. And you were hot, and you had every right to be, brother. Like, you did not want to see. You were on a mission to not let any kid. And guess what? All I did, and you just challenged me, like, dude, please just make phone call. And what happened? Like, all my friends showed up.
Yeah.
And that was a big, like, oh, duh, hello. Like, and it was thousands. I think we raised like $5,500 in like 2 or 3 days. Like, it was hardly anything. One was 1,000. I think Kirby did another, whatever it was. I don't remember exactly. I mean, we just raised capital, and we were even betting on Marco Polo. You remember, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and we created.
Yeah, you guys had an internal competition,
right?
I remember that.
Right.
I love that. I love that.
But it's that relentless. We're told that it is, but then when our kids don't conform, right? We want to punish them. No, these kids have a dream, and then their persons want to squash it. But if these kids, I want to teach these kids, don't have dreams, have obligations. If you don't want to live this life, you live in America, right? Listen, go out. There's opinion versus advice, right? If you're looking at your parents and you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to do something different. If somebody gives you something and you look at them, and I don't even know why I told you know why I lost weight, right? One of the reasons.
Yes.
That kid at the Power of Weed told me, hey, dude, you're fat. How you tell anybody what to do? I'm like, what the fuck did you just say?
He did?
Like, yeah. There's a little kid. His dad was in prison. He's like, how do you tell people what to do when you can't even control your weight? I'm like, ooh, come on.
That's why I love kids.
He's like, they have no
Look,
feeling.
let me tell you.
Look
when
at
I first started speaking,
I'm going to Power Weed like this.
See, and you lost a lot.
70.
Oh, thanks, honey. Brian says hi, Tim.
Hey, brother.
It's funny. I remember the first time I spoke at an all-black school. I was in the gymnasium, and they had the kids lined up on the floors and on the bleachers, and so the kindergartners and stuff were up front and went back. So anyway, there's the little black girl who I tell all the little ones, put your dream in your hand and squeeze it. Close your eyes. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? And I forgot to tell them to open their eyes. And like 40 minutes into it, I looked down and this one little black girl is sitting there, and she's still, and I was like, that's when I realized how literally children listen to us
Yeah.
But then I also knew one time when I was in the gym and 3 little black girls were sitting there, and what I was saying they weren't buying because they were like, their face looked like this, Tim.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, what's wrong? You don't like what I'm saying? They're like, well, we want to know how come, and I just love that about kids. It's wonderment.
Right. Well, I remember I did something, and one of my buddies, I have a black buddy I grew up with, and he's like, dude, you're not being very supportive. I'm like, bro, did you not think we were broke together? We used to go to Aldi together, me and you, to go buy food so your mom could cook for us. Like, well, you're white. Well, I'm glad you're observant, dude. That's really awesome. But when we were at your house, both of us were broke. And I love it. And it was one of those challenges. And I said, dude, like, that was just it. Broke has no color, has no race, it has nothing. Broke is just being broke.
Right.
Through that. And all I said is like, listen, dude, I am never going to be broke again. I don't care. It's an obligation, dude. I don't have dreams. Like,
so, Jim, in the book, if a person is saying, okay, Jim Johnson, it sounds great, and I'm gonna take you up on this. I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna get your book. Take us through. We got about 8 minutes left, so take us through how you feel this can help turn someone's mindset around to help them get to that place which is purposeful within their journey, where they can start manifesting abundance.
Well,
and get rid of the scarcity.
Right. There's only one word, brother. Perspective.
Change your perspective.
Right? Here's
Isn't that easier said than done? Some people might say that.
Kids believe what they've been programmed to believe. It's not until we give a different perspective that they can actually start to understand there may be something different than what I've been taught.
Absolutely right. That's why examples are so important.
So
it's just conversation.
I should be dead. I had 2 friends die in high school from Propel. I had friends that had literally shot their dad. Like, my whole life was surrounded by chaos and people died. My little sister died of AIDS, right? I got in the military and I spent 3 days with her. I was trying to hook up, and she's like, she loved me enough, but like, that was every one of these compelling things are what a lot of my students and my friends call Timisms. I'm like, no, I didn't make up any of this shit. Like, it was all the stuff I learned from the street, Vietnam vets. Like, I get chills whenever I talk. I mean, at 18,
that's what Jason says too, and me too. All the stuff, today that creates what's in my world came from those experiences.
Right. And perspective. Did you ever think
Nope.
you were young and 22 moms that this could be life?
No.
When you looked at successful people, like in school, the kids are told, don't copy off that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, well, listen, I want to learn from the smartest kid in the room, right? I'm going to Secret Knock this week to go to get a different perspective. I really am. Like, I want to know what it took Ryan Woods from Ugg Boots to do this. I want to know how Greg Reed relentlessly, dude, went to do Wishman for Frank, right? And I actually got to sit down with a meeting when I was with Greg and some of those people, just to sit down in front of him and just hear that man's story, the passion. Like, dude, if I wanted to model something, I'm gonna use it, right? Probably a negative connotation, but I wanted to steal his knowledge. Like, it was an obligation. It was a requirement of mine to learn something different, because they say 98% of serial killers' kids. Like, my dad didn't kill 9. I don't know, but they said he killed 43. I don't know. And after 2 years, after 30 years, I actually found my real family.
I was going to ask you to bring that up if you felt comfortable.
Like, dude, I talk to my uncle every day. Like, he's a truck driver, right? And I love talking to him because it's like just a simple, everyday truck driver's life, the common sense that he brings. And he doesn't even know it. Like, but it's amazing, right? Like, he's like I listen to Crazy, and I listen to, just a bunch of Blue and Uncle Willie and Uncle Corey. Like, and it's funny because I asked my uncle, I said, oh, do me a favor. You're going to come to events. Please don't share what I'm about to share with you, the rest of the family, because they're not going to get it. And the more that I've shared it and things we've done together, like him and I spent a week and a half, like, refixing his house and doing things together. Like, he's brought trucks up here so my guys can have trucks because they're not rotted out. Mm-hmm. It was an obligation, brother. Like, we were obligated. Like, I am obligated. Like, it's a requirement for me for the rest of my breathing life that I am the lunch sponsor for these 250, 500, right? Like it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I don't care who likes it. Like I will wake up with a newfound purpose and a requirement and an obligation in my life to make sure that every time one of those is, that not one of those empty chairs, because what if that kid was me, Lauren?
And you know what? Here's another thing. It's like a few weeks ago, I got an email from a young lady. First it was a voicemail, and I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't, prioritize to listen to it. But then after the email, I said, "Oh, that's her." And I went back, and she was like, "You probably don't remember me, but like 6 years ago, I was in one of your audiences, and today I am engaged. I finished college, and I have an Amway business I'm starting on the side too. And would you be interested in looking at my catalog, on and on?" And just hearing her voice and hearing where she's at and her saying, I mean, she kept my number all these years.
Right here, right? Yes or no? Like, you don't need a thank you. Like, just right here. Like,
It's
no
the
one,
best
unless you're
feeling ever.
Yeah, and you can't. Drugs can't buy it. Friends can't tell you about it.
Right.
It just can't.
You can't. You guys, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see creeping along there, timrjohnson.com. It's where you can go to find out all things about what Tim does, not just what we've talked about here today, but a lot more. The book you'll find there. If it's the coaching and whatnot you need to get your passion and your purpose exactly where it needs to be, so that it's in alignment with today and getting it done. Get over and check it out. And also, you'll be able to see Tim in person at the Power of We Symposium, April 28th, 2022, in Chicago at the lovely Stan Mansion down in Logan Square. So we're going to do it again. Everyone is different than the one before, and it just keeps going from great to greater, bright to brighter, taking strong to stronger. And so, Tim, I want to thank you again from the bottom of my spirit for all that you do, not just for the Power of We Symposium and these great kids, but just for people in general, and I include myself in there. I'm just so honored to count you among one of my dearest brothers, and I really mean that. So I want you all to do me a favor, if you could. It's Friday. Have a great weekend for me, will you please? Get out there and love up on everything and everyone you can. Just remember, to change the world, first we change ourselves, and that means the intention that we set when we set our feet on the floor first thing every morning. Make it your life's mission to leave something every day just a tad bit better than the way you found it. Do that. And again, I got to say it one more time. You'll see yourself taking great to greater, bright to brighter, and strong to stronger. I'm Lauren Michaels Harris. Thank you, Tim, again for everything. I can't wait till you're back. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Be great to yourselves and be even greater to everyone else. Have a great one. We'll see you Monday morning. Bye-bye.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Beside